the eyes, the hair. Each and every single aspect of the face gets together to form something greater than the sum of its parts. The more clear it is, the more symmetrical it is, the more familiar it is, the more it drops like an elixir in the eyes of its spectator. When you see a face like that, whether it be in the youthfulness and the naivety, or the sharpness and the wisdom of it, as those light waves radiated by the reflection of that serene face pass through your eyes, your amygdala hangs up. You scramble through the memory to find some clue and come out with a decisive judgment, but all you see is a desert of sand. No matter how much you dig through or how much you shuffle your hands into that sand, your hands are left empty. Your memory is lost in this moment of time and space. All you are left with is awe, and you just keep looking. One moment, two moment, and a little bit more later, the heat calms down. But the heat stroke stays forever. Your memories return, all your beliefs and thoughts, but they are all blurred when you see this face. They don't apply here. You have been struck by a thunderbolt, and the damage has been done. But, unfortunately, this face is not what the ones who rule the world have. Only if I could pay most of my income to a thunderbolt for them to loot me to my tooth, I would have been at least blurred in my vision and died in the bliss of ignorance. Unfortunately. Yet, our mind has blessed us with an opportunity to ignore. Ignore that face and look deeper, more closely. You look at the air and you see nothing. Squint your eyes and still nothing is there. A minute later, a piece of paper comes flying and it catches the attention of your eye. The paper has 1,000 words written on it, but in that brief moment, all you could see on that paper was a single picture. Moment gets past and the paper is gone. Now you are back to nothing. When before and after you are stuck with nothingness, a single paper can fill up your memory. 1 billion mental processes get into work to derive that one picture you saw on that paper. Someone asks you, "What did you see while looking at the air?" The answer is a picture. What picture? You are asked. With all the mental processes you have used to derive that single picture, you come with 1,000 words and almost none of them match the original one. A picture on a piece of paper in the most brief moment possible got stuck in your head. Most of the time, before and after, all you saw was nothingness. Yet what stuck was the piece of paper. We can ignore the norm, the constant, the very, very familiar in an environment when something sticks out like a sore thumb. When you see the leaders of the modern world, the natural tendency of the person is to ignore. There is nothing to be in awe of, to blur our vision. The people on the emperor's chair are all the same. The policies and rules are made for certain people to help a bunch and exploit the rest. The rest becomes more and more fed up, cutting out the bunch from their respective bubbles. But the rest is absolutely necessary for the bunch. Their vote is what enables the bunch to hold their power. So paper is thrown in the air of the ignorant rest, with 1,000 words of truth written on it, and a single picture of manipulation. In the constant world of the ignorant rest, that picture sticks out and the manipulation starts to cast its spell. When the simple awe of beauty fails to live up, there is another tactic, a smile, the charm of a silent look, a little smirk, and a no-expression face. The wrinkles help you show wisdom, and the perfectly tailored clothes and persona are icing on the cake. It all falls on the heart of the spectator, the ignorant rest. The sense of connection and security this combination generates is absolute magic. Only for the trick to fail. Only because the air was way thicker than the paper. It was a storm brewing, and the ignorant rest could see the air, and see it very clearly. The arrival of paper was no surprise to them, they expected it, as the air was nothing but the modern social media. We know what people at the top are up to, no matter how much they try to hide it. There is news coverage 24/7. How many can be stopped? Everything can get out. Scandals, scams, corruption, lobbying, nothing goes past in this air. The rest catches it all. It is all in front of our eyes. And yet the same people of power we know for sure are flawed to the teeth, get to retain their power again and again, even when it's the rest who have the power to give them power at the first place. The moral virtues, then, are produced in us neither by nature nor against nature. Nature indeed prepares in us the ground for their reception, but their complete formation is the product of habit. What we believe to be right and wrong, are developed within us by ourselves in nature. We believe we are morally better than other people. I am a good person. But to maintain ourselves as to be a good person, we need to stay aligned with the behavior we deem good. Constantly stay in that line, but people have other needs and wants, and achieving them might lead to disalignment to the good self you perceive yourself to be. Now you are bounded in your own morality. And then you see someone going that opposite route, disaligning with the morals to achieve your needs. This is exactly what you wanted. It is harmful, but you aren't causing the harm, and you are watching your wants get fulfilled before your eyes. It is spectacular. And you want this someone to keep doing it. The someone's immoral roots aren't a part of your concern, so you bring them in power. With all the knowing that this particular someone isn't the one you look up to. They are just a vessel to complete a task, and the vessel is very much aware of it. A plane can fly in the air. It takes a rocket to get past the space. If we could become the leader of this world, we would have. But we can't. There are too many of us. But some people dare to not give up. The road to the top is filled with darkness. It gets narrow as we move ahead. If you don't push other people down, they will push you. The people behind you are holding you back. If you don't burn them down, they will pull you back. You need to be clever, ready to exploit some, and support other terrible humans in the race, because when time comes, you are going to need them. It's a long race. You take a step back, and your chances for the top spot fall behind 10 times. There's a reason why most of them are old, if not then shallow. The stress is right over their heads, and in all this time, they need to be on their toes. They need to mask themselves, their real self, that person who took them to the top, because the rest don't like them. Rightfully so, most people on the planet are inclined to the better side on the rope of good and evil. They are very much aligned with their morality, and if you pick one amongst them, chances are it's a good person. If you pick one amongst the people who sit at the very top, the ones who truly run the world, chances are they are to the different side on the rope of good and evil. To mask this difference, a facade is necessary. A facade of a normal person. Sure thing, everyone knows who you are. But they want you to be there to cover their wants. Their failed wants which they cannot fulfill and still remain a good human in their own eye. They need you. And only if you could give them one chance, a brief moment of simplicity, it will open the floodgates of sympathy. And that is exactly what they do. Moments of innocence, a smile, singing a song, helping a child. Capture it all, make the world see your innocence, relate to them, for they had been waiting for this very moment. Once they are in your spell, now you can start your charade. Slowly for the rest, the one thing they had held in their minds starts to break. The inhumane nature of the top. The one thing keeping the rest intact, for that they knew that the people at the top are there to fulfill the rest's wants in exchange of their own morality. Now is broken. The idea of relatability is so innate to us humans, even with all the knowledge we can't ignore it. Through these moments of relatability, the leaders try to break the barrier and enter into the minds of people. And slowly the minds start to get controlled. And the next time you look back, you are completely in control of them, defending them by all your worth. They have pushed you to the edge from the slippery slope. Not only are they free now to commit their atrocities, but you help them in committing. Those brief moments is all it takes. A little by little you mold into their control, all this while you are stuck in the mirage of thinking you are in your own control. And the top, they stay at the top. After all they have seen and done, you or groups of you were nothing but a small stone in their path of absolute power. Maybe the humans could do it other way. Maybe in the quest of achieving moral alignment to good, look at the bigger picture. Solve their inner conflicts, and not let the insecurities rise. If the man can take on the waves of needs and beliefs he has held on without shying away, then the leeches of power can't scratch a surface. In his cleared head, if the man could look through the process, the waiting for the results part isn't a necessity. Criticize the process itself irrespective of the results, for it is only when you dress the path to power in pointed bolts, the travelers get soaked in blood. It is only when you watch their every move, there is no slippery slope, and the curtains of relatability go down the drain, but only for you. There can never be too many people, as much as needed people, who could look through this facade. The world keeps moving the same as it ever had. The power stays in the shadows, and you can enjoy your summer in the sunlight, but the world will keep rotting in the darkness.